Babble Talk is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. He's here. Hi.
Hey, man.
How you doing?
Good, good. Thank you. What's going on?
No, I was just waiting for you to talk to you. I'm so excited to talk to you. Thank you for doing this. Sorry for the whole miscommunication that happened days ago. I know that it was there was a problem with the Zoom invitation and everything. Uh, I'm so happy to talk to you, Mike. Estime. Am I pronouncing it right? Like Estime?
Estime.
Time? It's French.
Yes. It's Creole, Haitian Creole.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I remember your father is Asian, right?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Have you went there to Aisha to?
In Haiti, yes. I've gone there two times. Well, actually, one time for a benefit after the earthquake.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Hmm.
I'm really excited to talk to you because you are a working actor that has been in the on the comedic side of things, and that is very interesting to me because you've done some stand up. You've worked on shows like Everybody Hates Chris. Do you still get recognized for because of that show? Do you still get recognized in the street?
I do. I
Oh.
do, which is yeah, I do, uh, which is a little strange at times because people don't know my name. Risky. I'm like, I don't know if they meant I'm risky or as like I'm dangerous or if I'm just risky the character, but I soon find out that they're talking about the actual character. So yeah, a lot of supermarkets, grocery stores,
Mm.
parts.
Oh my
So
god.
then yeah, so I can't say it's annoying because I'm glad people recognize me
Yeah.
for something positive as opposed to hey guy you owe me money or or you was my girl the other day. So I'd rather have that
Yeah.
than the opposite. So yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
been great.
Yeah. And oh my, to me Risky was when I was shocked that you accepted this interview because I can't believe that I'm talking to the actor who played Risky because to me your character felt so real. I grew up in a project and there was a Risky in my project. His name was Omar, and every time somebody needed something they would ask Omar. And I remember watching Everybody ate Chris when I was a kid and be like, my god, this is so accurate. There is somebody like this in my head. And
Yeah,
I like this is one of the first moments where I really felt represented. Like I was Chris. I'm not an eldest. I'm the middle child, but I was Chris. I was that guy who struggled, that kid who struggled with girls. Not anymore, thank God. But
Like,
but yeah. Something that I also read about you that I wanted to talk about is you went to Howard University, right?
I did. Yes, I
One
did.
of the most prestigious black education in the world. And how was your how was Howard for you? What did you like? Love it?
Oh, more than loved it. I still
Oh.
love it to today. To this day, um, as I tell my friend, my son, who was getting of age to possibly look at schools, I told him, if you're gonna go, the reason I went is because you were talking about representation.
Mm.
I went to high schools and schools where I was the only black dude, or me and my brother were the only black dudes there.
Mm.
You know, so I mean, it was not far fetched to try to get in trouble because they said, oh, they couldn't just say the black guy did it. They knew me by name. Oh, Mike, because I
Yeah.
was a black guy. I was the only black dude there. Or if there was another Mike, there'd be Black Mike because I'll be the
Mm.
only black Mike. So there was representation. So it was not that I had any. I mean, I had some issues there, being that it was predominantly white. So Vera Katz, who was a white Jewish lady, saw me acting, and she said, "I feel like you could come to our school where she taught, Howard
Mm.
University."
Yeah.
So she recruited me. I went there. And when I went there, I just fell in love. I just saw all the different types of black folks and the fine arts and people singing on the yard. It was just like nirvana. It was like heaven.
Yeah.
And I just said, okay. And plus, at that time, I didn't have a girlfriend, so I was in love with every woman that I saw. I was like,
Oh, that is,
yeah, oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, oh my God, she's beautiful. So it was amazing what I was looking at, but it was just that representation that I was looking for and striving for,
Mm,
being that I never felt had a sense of self.
mm,
Where my son, he has a sense of self because I'm always introducing him to new things, African, not just African American, but just worldwide,
yeah.
just to know that it's not just um, the white culture that is invented stuff.
Mm,
Many has come from the black culture, many has come from the Asian culture, the
mm,
Latin culture. So he knows there's a worldly view. And if he
mm,
went to Howard, I would be so happy.
yeah.
But for me, he doesn't want to, which is fine. But for me, it was just a great opportunity to find who I am as a
Mm,
person in this country and able to um, represent and to do work that I never knew. When I mean work, like do plays from black authors and poets and put them on stage and able to put that into light and to know authors and poets that I never knew existed.
mm,
So it just opened my eyes to a whole new world. So as far as for me, I thought it was a great opportunity, and that so glad I did. And I still have my friends, my Howard friends. I just actually went on a hike with my friend just a few minutes ago before I got on the Zoom
damn.
interview. Yeah, we still are friends today, but we talk about it because it's an experience that I'll never ever, never ever look down on. I'll
Yeah.
always cherish in my heart.
Yeah.
It was the best experience ever.
I think if I ever meet somebody who doubts, if I go, if he should go to Howard, I'm always like, I have a friend who wanted to audition for to go into Howard, and he was like, I don't know. It's like it seems like one of these fancy schools, and I was like, dude, if you have the opportunity to go there, it's where Chadwick Boseman went. It's where I
Oh, I
would.
could I could name Taraji P Henson. She went
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Taraji went there. Felicia Rashad, Debbie Allen,
yeah.
Toni Morrison. I mean,
Black
Kamala
excellence.
Harris, our vice president here in the United States.
Yeah,
She went. She went to Howard.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's history rich. It's
Mm,
over 100 years old. So
yeah,
yes, it is an opportunity. There's no hesitation. If
yeah.
and if my thing is, if you have the passion to go, then go. I don't force anybody to go.
Mm,
Have it organically go. I had the passion to go.
mm,
My other friends had the passion to go. If you're going there just to say, "Oh, I went to Howard," but not partake and participate in what it has to offer,
mm,
then yes, it'd be a waste of your time. But if you feel like it can enrich you and make you a better person, an adult, make you appreciate your blackness, your community, the world better, then yes,
yeah.
that's the place to go. I mean, I'm biased because that's what it did for me. I mean, I'm never, you're never gonna see here a bad word from me because it taught me how to be a man.
Yeah.
It taught me how to negotiate. It taught me how to talk to girls. It taught me a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm all for HBC, and it doesn't have to be Howard. It could be any
Yeah.
historically black college.
Yeah.
I'm always for that, always promoting that because, especially if you're a person doubting or trying to find where you fit in this world, and I think that's a great place to start. And
Mm,
from that point on, it makes your mind even more curious and makes it more critically thinking, and it really you look at the world differently.
yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. I've heard something from the SNL cast and crew. They said that sometimes when they meet old cast and crew from the SNL from SNL, even people who were there 20 years ago, they're like, "Oh, you were in SNL. What year?" Like if they were in the army. And I imagine that
Yeah,
must be the same for Howard. You must meet
yeah,
actors and people in real life and be like, "Oh, you were in Howard? Where? Where did you go?" Is it like that?
yeah. It's like that. It's funny because we go, ain't you? Oh, ain't you? You know, that's our little call and response. Hey, do you know what year? And then we'll go into the year. Oh yeah, do you know this teacher? Oh, this teacher. I went under that teacher. Yeah. So it's like it's not. It's more of a homecoming as opposed to like the military. It's a homecoming.
Mm.
It's like, oh my, you're part of a family. You're part of a network, and that family is always bonding. I mean, I've met guys. I went in 94, 95. I met a dude that went there in 83. I think I was 9, 10 years old back then. So he was like, "Oh, I hate you," and he was telling me about, "Oh yeah, I remember the step show," but the experiences are the same. You talk about the step shows, and you talk about the shows, and you talk about, "Oh, that wasn't there when I was there. When did that get there? Well, that got there in 92." Or I'll talk to some people now in 2019, 2020. Yeah, that changed. So it's always an excitement, and it's always an appreciation, and it's always a bond when you talk about Howard University because there's no other. They call it the Mecca for a reason. It's the
Mm.
Mecca of intelligence. It's the Mecca of enlightenment, and it's just a Mecca of friendship and bonding. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. Like I said, if I mean, I could go on for another hour, but we can talk about Howard. This would be like I feel like I'm
Yeah.
recruiting somebody right now.
Yeah,
But
I know.
that's what
I
yeah.
listen. I watched a documentary the other day about how it was made because the way it was made at the moment it was made, it was badass. It was beautiful, and its history is beautiful. The people went there, like you said, it's so beautiful. So whenever I interview somebody from Howard, I always ask this question: how was it for you? And another question about Howard, and we're going to talk about your upcoming show, The Upshaws. But another question is it in Howard that you discovered comedy? Did you start doing stand up in Howard, or did that was it in your life before or after?
It was in my life before Howard. I
Mm,
wanted to start because I was about 17, 18 when I decided, you know what, I think I want to do this comedy thing.
mm.
And because also Eddie Murphy was my biggest hero, my
Ah,
comedy
yeah,
hero.
yeah,
I'm a huge Eddie Murphy fan, still is,
yeah. Me too.
and always will be. I think he's the greatest comedian ever.
Yeah,
Along with that's just me, along with Richard Pryor.
yeah.
Those are my two gods of comedy. And so that's why I mean. On another note, that's when people say, "Oh, you know," I love Dave Chappelle and Kevin. When they say, "Oh, he's the greatest of all time," I'm like, I'm like, I start getting a little palpitations in my heart, and
Yeah.
I start getting cramps in my stomach. So I feel more connected and a little more uh, 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 private when they talk about that. But yeah,
Mhm.
I started 17, 18, and then when I went to Howard, it was more about acting
Mm,
and perfecting my craft as an actor.
mm,
And then my about my third year, yeah, that's when I started concentrating on comedy.
mm.
That's when I wanted to start comedy. And I started doing comedy at this place called Mr. Henry's in Washington D.C.,
Okay.
where they had a comedy, musicians, poets, singers. So it was a variety show.
Mm,
And I just said, okay, let me try doing that. And I would just go there and work on my set. And
mm.
it was it was a great learning ground because people were talking during your thing. So people are getting drinks. There's a bar over here.
Mm.
People are smoking over here, and you hear people going to the bathroom, and then you hear guys asking girls out. So you know what I'm saying? It's like, so where you
Yeah,
from? Where
yeah,
are you from, girl? And
yeah,
you have to try to beat. You have to try to compete with that.
yeah.
So if you were able to get their attention,
Mm,
then you had some. Then you had some. They's like, okay, this kid is talented. If
mm.
you couldn't, well, you know what? Maybe you could be a waiter, or Denny's is hiring, Burger King's hiring. You got to do something else.
Yeah.
So that was my first training ground, and I would invite um, my classmates out, and they would critique me, and I just love making people laugh, and
Yeah.
that was my whole thing. And I said, okay, let me try. And plus, at that time, I was also unfortunately, but fortunately, my second girlfriend, I think, second, third, but yeah, she had gotten pregnant. So I was like, okay, this comedy thing, it needs to work.
Mm.
This
Oh,
got to
yeah.
work.
You put
So
extra
that gave me
pressure.
much more. Yeah,
Yeah.
that gave me much more of it gave me much more of motivation, some enthusiasm, and it just gives me much more of a passion to pursue
Mm.
that which was comedy. So
Yeah.
that's what I did.
This is why I love talking to comics and people who have been working in that side of the industry for a while, because people imagine that comics, oh, they go to clubs in the beginning, but it's not always that. Sometimes you go to crazy places. Like I have a comic friend. He told me he went to a restaurant, a food restaurant, vegetable restaurant, and I was like, "What are you
Yeah.
doing there?" And tell me, you just sometimes you don't even know what you're doing there, but you're doing it and you're getting better. And this
That's
is
right.
this is I mean, if it wasn't for COVID, I would have tried it. This is something I want to try, and I
Hey,
feel like,
right. If you're thinking about it, then you should try it. I
yeah,
always say people should try it one time. It's
yeah,
like getting on that scary ride. You're like, I don't know. No, see what happens. You may throw up, you may pass out, or you may enjoy it.
yeah.
You know, you never know. And that's what I did. Like your friend said. I mean, I performed at on tables while people eating chicken wings around me. I performed on dance floors. I performed at a strip club. I performed at some. I performed at some crazy places, man.
Mm,
But the fact of the matter is, you have a vision and a goal, and you're willing to do what it takes to get to that goal. And sometimes it could be life threatening, and sometimes it could be
mm,
soul enlightening. You know,
yeah,
so you just take it's like a relationship. You don't know who you're going out with. You're like, okay,
mm,
this person might be great or they might be crazy.
yeah.
You know, I might wake up happy. Or I might wake up maybe a penis in my hand. I don't know. Hopefully, it just you just taking your life in your hand. But it's the risk. It's the enthusiasm. So you never know.
Exactly. Yeah. Hearing you talk, it must be really rewarding to have worked for so long and now to be working next to people like Wanda Sykes, Mike Epps, and be like, oh, I'm amongst them. I've made it. Do you are they do you think sometimes do you pause everything and be like, oh, I've made it. I've made it.
Well, I mean, I don't think I said I something like I've made it because I've come to a point in my career was like, well, what is really making it? You know,
Mm,
I'm you know, because making it is so many different levels.
mm,
Because making it to me is like I'm still in this business and I'm working. That's to me making it.
mm.
When you get because I've known a lot of people that have made a lot of money, very successful, but they for some reason they still feel unfulfilled.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm,
so it's like I don't know what making it is really. I'm still looking for something. Yeah, and I feel like that for myself. Even if I like say I mean I've known Wanda. I've known Wanda when I first started comedy, and she was always doing it.
mm,
So we have a time. Mike Epps, I knew him in New York when
mm,
he started doing it. We saw it. So I have a relationship with these folks. So I'm more appreciative of the opportunity that was given to me. And
mm.
that's where I stand because if I start stopping and looking around, man, I'll forget my lines. I'll start breathing heavy. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Can I get some water? And they'll be like, Mike, are you all right? And I have to take one knee and I mean, I'll probably look like I had COVID before COVID became happened, man. I probably start passing out, clutching my chest, and start sneezing and coughing.
Yeah.
So I got to make sure I keep things in perspective because at the same day, I got to say, okay,
Mm,
the way I calm myself down is I'm a professional, they're a professional. Let's make magic happen, and
mm.
then you just do it. You know?
Amen, brother. Amen, brother.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. You gotta work. You gotta have a work ethic, and I see that you have a work ethic. You've developed a work ethic. Did you shoot the show, the Upshaws, this new Netflix show, before or after the pandemic?
We started before the
Okay.
pandemic, and then when the pandemic was starting to surge around the world, we stopped it. They stopped
Okay.
it. So yeah, so we stopped it for shoot, I think 8 9 months.
Ooh. Okay.
So and yeah, and then we started back up March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, after the holidays. Oh, before the November,
Mm,
around Thanksgiving, Christmas. So we started up again.
damn.
So April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, 7 months we stopped,
Ooh,
and then we had to start picking it up back up where we left off.
okay.
So I was like, okay, we're back. But by then there was so many protocols. We had to get
Yeah.
thing up our nose. You know, oh my God. I mean,
Must
all
have
up my nose.
was it like a challenge to make comedy happen when all of this is in place or all these restrictions
It,
are in place?
uh, um, again, it's like being a professional. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, this is where I'm at right now. How am I going to make this work in my favor?
Mm,
So you have to say, okay, I'm here. I can't let this overtake my work. I can't let this overwhelm me and not make me put in my right frame of
mm,
mind. This is where I'm at because the only thing is I didn't like is that you were able to at least talk to the other actors when you're not working or have your scene up. We couldn't do that. We had
mm,
to go right back into our little trailer. So you have
mm.
to sit in the trailer and then they call you and you come out and you say you can't get too close because then you have a watch that buzzes. You're too close. Step back. And then you have people sticking things up your nose, and I feel like I'm doing cocaine because my nose is blown. And I'm like, God, but I mean, it was crazy. And I was like, because if that's
Yeah.
the case, I mean, my kids have been giving themselves COVID tests all day long because that's all they do is pick their nose. They just pick their nose all day long.
Mm,
So I was like, oh my God. But you just get used to it
mm.
because, like I said, you have a job to do, and your job is to entertain people, and hopefully, and I think we will make people laugh and be entertained and think. You
Yeah.
know?
So can you like describe the Upshaws for the people? Because right now there isn't a trailer out, but like can you describe it very really briefly what it is?
Sure. The Upshaws is about a couple, family living in Indianapolis. This brother, Mike Epps, who plays Benny, and I play Tony, his friend, the mechanic in the show. He is dealing with being married, has children, but he also has, as we call it, a baby mama. He has a baby mama drama, and he's trying to juggle the fact of being a great husband and a father to his now family, but still being a present dad to his baby mama's uh, son, and trying to juggle the two, and also the fact that the women don't get along, his ex
Mm,
and his current wife, and also dealing with being a black father trying to do the right thing
mm,
and dealing with what's going on in the world and trying to teach them. And he had his missteps in the world as well, and how he's trying to make sure that they don't have those same do those same mistakes as
mm,
well. And myself, Tony, is not helping too much because I'm a single, well, not single, I have a girlfriend, but yeah, he's still trying to live that single life
mm,
and trying to um, push him sometimes in the wrong direction.
mm.
But Benny's always trying to stay on the straight path and trying to be the good guy that he knows he is. But sometimes those temptations get at him. So he's trying to make sure those temptations don't pull him too far
Yeah.
and disrupt that family life that he's looking for.
Mm.
And he has an older son too. His name is Jermel Simon, who plays uh, the older son. He's a great actor,
Yeah.
and he's
I've
trying
I-
to
I've
deal
been
with.
trying to get him on the show.
Yeah, he can tell you about it. He's a great dude, and he's trying to bond with him as well because he was there in his life. So he's trying to not mess around and mess up with the youngest son. So
Yeah.
it's pretty much what, like we were talking about, trying to find yourself, trying to do the right thing, your
Mm,
identity. He's an old man still trying to find his identity as a now father because he's gotten into trouble and he's trying not to get his boys back into that. He's trying not to let his boys, Tony himself, get back into that type of trouble.
yeah. And it sounds like a great show. I can't wait for the trailer to come out.
Yeah,
Are you how do you do it? How can you wait on a project like this and wait for its release date? Are you a good do you have a good amount of patience in you, or are you like, oh man, I can't wait for people to watch my show and to enjoy it and to share it to the world?
I have no patience. My patience, I have no patience. My patience is as thin as a razor blade, man. It's as thin as a bird's feather. I don't know if a bird's feather's thin, but I'll just say it anyway. It's just thin. But yeah, I know I have to wait for it, and I can't wait for people to come out. My whole thing is, I hope it touches. I mean, even if it doesn't make folks laugh, which is possible, I
Mm,
just hope it touches, like you said, with Everybody Hates Chris. You can relate to it. You're like, oh my
yeah,
God, I know a dude like that. I know a person like that, where it touches your heart, touches your mind, touches your
yeah.
spirit in some way. Where it's just like a homecoming. You're like, oh my God, and you relate to that person. You're Benny. You're Tony. You're
Mm,
Lakeisha. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So that way you're like, oh, okay, yeah. That's what I hope. And when it happens, like I said, at this point we've done our work. My
mm,
check is cleared. I already got paid, so I'm good.
mm.
Either way. And the only, but the cream on the creme de la creme, we do it for more so of just to touch minds and touch hearts,
Mm.
and hopefully people relate to it, and then hopefully we get the laughs that we think we will get when people watch the episodes and binge
Mm.
watch it hopefully on Netflix.
Yeah, yeah. You talk about other people watching your show and love it and enjoy it. Can you enjoy watching yourself on TV? Can you like do you
Nah, nah, man, I can't. I can't. I do not enjoy myself watching. I'm like, it's like, oh my god, it's like watching myself make love on a camera or something. Like, oh, I thought I was doing so well, but look, why am I doing that with my leg? Oh, I thought it was so cool when I was doing it. Now, why is she smacking me on my ass? I'm like, it's
Yeah.
like that, man. It's awkward because I'm a big critique of myself because I feel like I could always do better.
Mm,
And I feel like that's what kept me in this entertainment industry for as long as it has, where you never ever should rest on your laws and say, "Oh, I got it," because
mm.
once you do that, then it's over. Then that means there's nothing you're willing to learn. And for me, there's always something I'm willing to learn about. That's why I would say to myself, "Nope, I'm gonna be better." You
Mm.
know?
Yeah, this is really yeah. I mean, wow, you really like talk to me.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I feel the same. Like people take for granted so many things and they don't realize that you you can do more, and because sometimes you have the potential to do more, you should act on that potential. But that's another discussion.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, exactly.
yeah, um throughout your life, throughout your career as a comedian, have you are you oh, have you looked up to other comedians and have the courage to go to them and ask them for advices? Have you been comfortable with that, or are you more
I,
like, I'm gonna let them do their thing and I'm just gonna observe?
in the beginning, I was.
Mm,
In the beginning, I was like, no, I was like, no, I want them to see me,
mm,
and then they'll say, oh my God, he was so good, I have to talk to him, and then that will open up the discussion. Well, that never happened
mm,
because I was like, either I was not that good or they were just that busy.
mm,
And after a while, I was like, you know what? Screw this. Let me go ask them. And the first person I asked was a comedian by who I also really respect. His name was Damon Wayans,
yeah,
and
I love him.
yeah, I love Damon. He does My Wife and Kids and Blank Man and Mo Money and In Living Color. I mean, he's a legend.
Yeah, I mean, in France,
Yeah.
My Wife and Kids is still on TV right now.
Oh yeah, exactly right. He's amazing. He's amazing. So I went up to him and I asked him. I mean, a bunch of questions, huge questions, and he actually took the time out to talk to me, for. It felt like hours, but I think it was probably like 20 minutes.
Mm,
But he gave me some really good advice, saying, "Hey, don't do it for the money. That's why when we go back to that original, did you make it? He's like, once you start doing it for the money, then it stops becoming fun.
mm,
Because remember the journey. Because when you start getting money and paid for it, that's when it become a business. And a lot of times, that's when it stops becoming fun because you start thinking more about the business, which is
mm,
fine, but you should still have that the childlike enthusiasm, why
mm,
you did it, the reason you're doing it, the passion to do it.
mm.
Because when you just start, I just want to do it for the money, then there's no passion.
Yeah,
Then you just going through the motions.
yeah.
Then you're taking the gift that God gave you, and you're wasting it.
Mm,
You're wasting that passion. Then you're throwing that to the side and say, okay, yeah, I've done enough. I'll just do this
yeah.
because it's always inspiring. You should always inspire. So that's what I took from Damon. He just passed on knowledge to me. He said, never, stop, don't do it for, and he was successful. At this time, he was like, I'm almost at his height. And he
Mm,
says, don't do it for the money. He goes, enjoy the journey. Because when you start getting paid, They're going to be asking an awful lot from you. They're going to be asking you to do this and do that and sponsorships. And that's
Mm.
when it gets a little overwhelming. So basically, you said try to stay grounded. Do it. Remember why you did it. Remember why you loved it, and just keep it moving.
Yeah, that's some great words from a great man. And
Yeah.
wow, I hope I get to talk to him one day. He seems like quite the person. Uh
Oh, he's great.
okay. You talked about your cast and you talked about Jermel Simmons. Are there any upcoming like actors that you we should look for in your show, The Upshaws?
Well,
Actors that people are not accustomed to see.
uh, well, there's a girl named Journey, little
Mhm.
girl. She's excellent. There's a, she's really good. Her name is Journey. She's sweet. She plays the little girl. She plays the daughter. There's the other daughter. I don't know why I'm forgetting her name, but she plays the other daughter. She's really good. Diamond Lyons. Check out for him.
Mhm.
Brother named Paige Kennedy.
Oh,
He's
I
really
love him.
good.
He's really good.
Paige, yeah, he's a hip hop artist as well as an actor. He
Yeah.
has extensive a list. He's not really upcoming, but I think he should be getting more shine.
Yeah. For
Uh,
me, it's totally like somebody. I mean, uh he's done things on the internet. Of course, he's gone viral multiple times.
Oh my god, he's dying! Call 911!
What's the number? Really, nigga? What's the number?
He's very funny.
yeah,
He's been working in the industry before he went viral, and he's still like really a hard worker, and he's somebody definitely I look up to.
yeah, he's good. And Jamel, of course, we mentioned Jamel,
Mm,
but these are the few. These are the ones that I think are destined for a lot of big things in the next wave,
mm,
uh, the next generational wave. What's to come in Hollywood. So
mhm.
yeah, man, the talent pool is vast and wide. You cast a net on it, man. But those are the people, like I said, you should really look out for. And like I said, I'm always going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed from this. My goal is to get a Netflix special doing comedy. That's my goal.
Okay.
So we'll see how this comes. On the tails of of the Upshaws and Everybody Hates Chris
Yeah.
and that every other show I was blessed to be a part of. So we'll see.
Yeah. Talking about that, like writing comedy during the pandemic, did you manage to do it? Did you manage to isolate yourself because we're all isolated in the same house? Did you manage to isolate yourself and find the time to write comedy and to like have a still a positive eye on it?
At times it
Mhm.
became because as you know, it was not just a pandemic; it was a protest, it was a social justice.
Yeah.
All
Mhm.
all that was going on. So my head was swirling, and I attended some of the protests. But at the same time, I was able to find some humor in that,
Mhm.
and find because that's a job as a comedian. You have to find the light in the dark.
Mhm.
You have to find some levity. So because people, I've cried enough. I'm tired of people crying, and I want to see some smiles.
Yeah,
Even when at
definitely.
my funeral, I don't want people crying. I want people laughing. I might have my own set. I might have my comedy reel happening, so people are laughing.
Mhm.
I want people laughing. So it was at times. At first, it was very hard. It was very difficult. But then after a while, I said, "Damn it, Mike, you're a comedian. This is your job. Let's find something to make things lightened up and fun." And I was able to do that. Also, watching my other comedian friends, they were coming up with brilliant bits. So I said, okay, I can't be left behind. Let me do some of this stuff. So to tell you the truth, yeah, it was in the beginning, yes, and as it got later on in the pandemic, nah,
Mhm.
it got easier and easier.
And do you now things are you in LA right now? Things are opening back up, right? Yeah.
Yes, indeed. That's why I said I went on a hike before. I wasn't ever going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I was never gonna be able to go on a hike, but now I went on a hike. I'm sitting there. And things are opening up. Comedy clubs are starting to open up little
Mhm.
by little, even though we have to perform outside.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, restaurants, same thing. You have to eat outside, but little by little, it's opening up. I mean, it's the new normal's happening. I mean,
Yeah.
I still have my mask. I still wear my mask. I mean, I'm just taking off so people can see this lovely face right here.
Mm.
So, yeah, man, I still have my mask on. Even though I took my vaccination shots,
Mm.
I still have my mask on. I
Mm.
still, have precaution because, it's just like it's just a new normal. I
Yeah.
mean, it's never gonna go back to the old normal. It's a new normal.
Yeah.
So I'm just adapting to it. So like acting or speaking or doing anything in life, you have to adjust to what's going on around you.
Yeah.
So I want to be more like an amoeba, not a rock.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And honestly, we're going back in circles, and it's like you said, like now you're getting to, I feel like you're getting to work back, get that try to get that attention from people, because it's outside, there's this whole pandemic going around, and people are like, oh my god, am I gonna die, am I gonna get the vaccine? And
Right.
you're here to get their attention, to say, hey, it's okay, everything's gonna be all right, there's comedy, and this is your job. And I feel like this is a new challenge for you, and I feel like you're ready for it. And I just wish I could witness it. I'm excited. I hope you're gonna get your Netflix special, because I want to see it. I honestly want to see your comedy.
Oh, Nathan, I appreciate it. Me too, brother. So does my mom. So does everybody else. I mean, it's been my long dream. Hopefully, I'm putting out there in the universe. See what happens. But at the end of the day, it'll happen when it happens. But for now, May 12th, the Upshaws coming through. Excuse me, not coming back, but coming out.
Yeah.
Check it out, enjoy it. Hopefully, it touches your mind, so it lightens up the mood in your house. And yeah, it's just an exciting time to be alive and to be creating. And once again, thank you for thinking of me and getting me on the show
Yeah.
and interviewing me. This is great.
Thank you again for accepting all this. I am gonna leave you, and thank you for all this great. You said so many things that really touched me. Thank you for talking about Howard. Thank you for
Yeah.
everything. Thank you for accepting this. I just wish you good luck. God bless you, man. Hope everything's gonna go your way. You seem to have the good mindset. I started this show to see what it was like to be a working actor, the mentality behind it, and you really like, honestly, you inspired me today. Thank you. You were the best moment of my day, and thank you again. And I hope we get to talk again. And the Upshaws, like you said, is on Netflix May 12th. Guys, check it. And I'm gonna try to do some promotion about it on the Instagram. And thank you again, Mike Estime. Mike Estime. Thank you
Hey,
again.
perfect. There we go. Yes. Perfect. Yeah, you gotta throw that accent aigu on there. Gotta throw the accent aigu, and then there we go. Yes.
Thank you again.
Enjoy.
And
All right, Nathan. Thank you so much.
see you.
All right, now. Take care.
Guys, that was the interview. It lasted over an hour. I went overboard. It was amazing. It was the best interview I've made. I was nervous, but not too much. And he really said some profound things. And I hope I recorded everything and there's no problem. Um, Thank you, everybody, for supporting that show. If you're watching this, thank you again. And it was honestly a really good moment. This is this was a good interview. I can say it was a good interview. It was fluid. It was the best interview I've made so far. Hopefully I get to do that again. Thank you. It was Nathan M, and see you on Geek and Great News on GGN on Instagram and GGN on YouTube. Babble Talk, third episode. Michel Estime, Mike Estime. Thank you again, Mike. It was great. He was great. Thank you. Follow, subscribe, and everything. Bye.